It was minus 19 degrees. My fingers were numb inside a pair of dollar store gloves, and I was standing in a stranger's driveway at 6 in the morning, wondering if I had made the biggest mistake of my life. I had left everything behind: my career, my family, my comfort zone. I came to Canada with a dream, a suitcase, and $800. And in 6 months, I went from one shovel to three vans, a registered business, and more clients than I could handle. But before I tell you how, you need to understand where I started, because it wasn't pretty. I landed in Toronto in late October. You know that feeling when you step outside the airport and the cold just hits you differently? Not like cold back home. This was a different kind of cold. The kind that goes through your jacket like it's not even there. I had a cousin who let me sleep on his couch in Mississauga. I was grateful, but I also knew I couldn't stay there forever. My first week, I spent 3 days just figuring out the TTC. I got lost twice. I ate a Tim Hortons breakfast sandwich every single morning because it was the cheapest warm thing I could find. I applied for my ESIN. I opened a bank account. I did everything they tell you to do. And then I started applying for jobs. 50 applications, 22 rejections, the rest, silence. Every interview I got, it ended the same way. Do you have Canadian experience? I have a degree. I have 7 years of work experience, but none of it was Canadian. And in this country, at that moment, it felt like none of it counted. Rent was coming, my cousin was patient, but I could feel the pressure building. I had maybe $400 left. Winter was arriving fast, and I had no plan. November hit and hit hard. The first real snowfall came overnight. I woke up and looked outside and saw the entire street buried under this thick white blanket. And my cousin's landlord knocked on the door that morning, frustrated, asking if anyone could clear the driveway before he got a fine from the city. My cousin shrugged, said he didn't have time. I said, I'll do it. I grabbed the old shovel from the garage, spent 45 minutes clearing the driveway and the front walk. The landlord looked at it, nodded, and handed me $20. $20. I stood there holding that bill and something clicked in my brain. I looked left, I looked right. Every single driveway on that street was buried. Every single one. And I thought, how many people on this street are leaving for work in 2 hours and have no time to deal with this? I knocked on the first door. Hi, I'm your neighbor. I can clear your driveway for $25. Takes me less than an hour. Door number one said no. Door number two said yes. Door number three said yes. Door number four asked if I could come back every snowfall for the whole season. That morning, I made $75 before 9 a.m. I want you to feel what that moment felt like. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have a website. I didn't even have good gloves. But I had a shovel, a cold street, and a problem that needed solving. That's all a business really is. I went home, ate a bowl of rice, and joined 3 Facebook groups for my neighborhood in Mississauga. I posted a simple message: no logo, no fancy design. Snow removal, residential driveways and walkways. Fast, reliable, affordable. GTA area, DM me. My phone started buzzing within the hour. I also posted on Kijiji. Same message, 15 words. By the end of that first week, I had 11 regular clients, weekly contracts, guaranteed income every snowfall. I was making more money than most of the jobs I had applied for. By December, I had a problem, a good problem. Too many clients, not enough time. I called a friend who had just arrived in Canada 2 weeks before. I said, come with me tomorrow morning. I'll pay you $60 for 3 hours of work. He said yes before I finished the sentence. We split the routes. We finished faster. We took on more clients. I reinvested every dollar. Bought a second-hand snowblower off Kijiji for $180. It changed everything. We were doing twice the work in half the time. I registered my business, got my business number from the CRA, started keeping receipts like my life depended on it, because in Canada, it kind of does. By January, I had 2 workers and a used van I bought for $3,000 with the money I had saved. By March, when the snow started melting, I already had clients asking me, do you do lawn care in the summer? I said, I do now. 6 months after I stood in that driveway with the numb fingers and a borrowed shovel, I had 3 vans, 8 full time clients on monthly contracts, and a waiting list. Not millions, not a mansion, but stability, dignity, a business that I built from the ground up in a country that told me I had no experience. So let me give you three honest lessons. No fluff, no hype. Lesson one: solve the problem in front of you. You don't need a perfect idea. You need an urgent problem and the courage to offer a solution today. Look at your street, your neighborhood, your community. What do people need done that they don't have time to do themselves? Lesson 2: use the free tools first. Facebook groups, Kijiji, flyers at the local laundromat, word of mouth at the mosque, the church, the temple. These are powerful and they are free. You do not need a website on day one. You need one client, then two, then 10. Lesson 3: stay legal from day one. Register your business, understand your taxes, talk to the CRA or a newcomer business center in your city. Many cities have free resources specifically for immigrant entrepreneurs. Don't work in the shadows, work in the light because that's where growth lives. I started with one shovel in a stranger's driveway at minus 19 degrees. I didn't have connections, I didn't have capital, I didn't have Canadian experience, but I had hunger and I had a problem to solve. If you're a newcomer, watching this right now, sitting in a basement apartment, refreshing your email, waiting for a job offer that hasn't come, I want you to hear this clearly. Canada rewards people who solve problems. Be one of them.